Hello YouTube and fellow Star Wars collectors. On this episode of Toys Are the Way, we will be taking a look at how I ended up displaying my Jabba the Hutt / Boba Fett's throne room. If you're new to the channel or a fan of Star Wars collecting, be sure to smash a like on this video, remember to subscribe, and make sure to ring that bell to stay notified. Welcome back everyone. So I was away for a little vacation and look what showed up. The Boba Fett's throne room, or as some people may just want to refer to it as Jabba the Hutt's throne room. Very excited to get this one into the collection. It is going to be an amazing display piece. It's got lots of detail. I can't get over the amount of accessories and just little glasses that come with this thing. We also got Fat Bib Fortuna. Pretty cool. He's going to be carded. I'm going to take a look at how those came in my packaging and pretty much just put this thing in my display and show you what I kind of created as my own Jabba the Hutt's throne room display area. But very excited to get it open, so with that being said, let's take a closer look at the packaging, a quick look at the set itself, and then put it in my display. So one of the first things you'll see once you open this package is the instructions. We have the nice Kenner-inspired instruction manual here with a cool line illustration of the palace display. Taking a look on the inside, we have another illustration showing you how this thing's packaged. It's basically 3 boxes within a box, which comes within a shipping box, so lots of different boxes. Here you can see a close-up of all the accessories. We got the throne down there, part of the display itself, the overhead panels, and pretty much just some simple instructions on how to put this thing together. It's very, very simple, which is pretty cool. And then more illustrations just showing you kind of where the accessories go and like how to display them, but that's also pretty much up to you. It is your display set, so if you want to put some stuff in a different spot, I think that's totally cool. Taking a look at the box, we have our classic vintage style packaging that looks fantastic. We have the Star Wars and Book of Boba Fett logo in the top left corner, followed by Boba Fett's throne room, which I know kind of bothers some people that this isn't a Jabba's throne room set, but it's kind of cool at the same time to get, the Boba Fett one, because it allows us to, have something from new media that also can just be used as an original trilogy item. So there's some versatility there, which is cool, and it got us Fat Bib Fortuna, which is fantastic. And you can see that included figure decal in the bottom left corner, which looks pretty cool. We also naturally have the Kenner logo in the bottom right corner, which just looks fantastic with this nice toy photography scene. We have an image of Boba Fett and Fennec Shand coming in at the end of, season 2 of The Mandalorian during that Book of Boba Fett trailer teaser. So pretty cool stuff. I will say that it is a little annoying that Hasbro used the wrong Boba Fett. He's actually wearing his attire and armor from the Morak episode. So just a little odd that they did that. I don't know if they just overlooked that because they definitely had that figure. But I will say that it's cool Fennec Shand's there and she's using the appropriate rifle, which is a nice little detail. And all in all, I think this is a fun little scene. We have this weak way of putting his hands up before he gets blasted. And then I like how they actually staged a few figures running out towards the back catacomb. I think that looks pretty cool. Would have been nice if they had Squidhead there. We're getting that figure. I guess it just wasn't ready in time to maybe stage him for this. But all in all, I think this is a fantastic looking scene and it really is a nice looking box. Taking a look at the top of the packaging, we once again have the Star Wars and Book of Boba Fett logo, title of the product, and the Kenner logo, all placed left justified. And then to the right, we have a nice grid of different images of the playset being used and just nice world building overall. Got a cool picture of Boba about to blast Bib away. We've got accessories. We got the very iconic scene of Fennec and Boba taking the throne, and a nice image of the throne. And the grill. Very excited for that grill. It's a neat accessory. I know it's been offered sometimes as a 3D print, but it's nice to get, a perfect cast plastic accessory like that. So I'm very grateful for that one. And then we have one last picture of Fat Bib just hanging around the palace and doing Fat Bib Fortuna stuff. The bottom of the box is very similar, except it has all the warning labels and stuff that we don't really care about as collectors because it's not really aesthetically pleasing. But then we have another grid pattern here, just showing more images of the palace and the accessories that come with it. Taking a look at the side of the box, we have the Star Wars and Book of Boba Fett logo once again with another image of Bib Fortuna hanging out in the palace and just relishing in all his fortune and glory. And on the opposite side of the box, we have a very similar layout except with an image of all the different accessories and everything that's included within this set. And on the back, as we so often see, we have the very same image as the front except with the Vintage Collection logo in the top right corner. And then we have the 3 boxes that are pretty much inside the packaging. If you recall from the instruction manual, there's a total of 3 of these. There's 2 slightly larger ones that pretty much house most of the set itself, the archways and the back wall and stuff. But this one right here has all the accessories in it. They all also have the same line work illustration, which just looks, fantastic. Very nice and Kenner inspired. But yeah, let's take a look inside and see what all the accessories. So here's how they come packed. You can see we got our grill there with the little monkey guy being burnt up. Got lots of different little plates and other things. And then, of course, the one that we want to see, Fat Bib Fortuna. So this is how it's kind of packaged in there. And I gotta say, they've been doing a better job with other things like the speeder bikes. They put tissue paper over it and just really protect it. Now, this is definitely a nice fit. Don't get me wrong. But, yeah, unfortunately, it's a little not my favorite carded sample. It's got a little ding there. For the most part, it's pretty nice, but it does have this really nasty double indentation here from the bubble. It almost looks like they put a larger bubble on top of it or misplaced it first before they pressed it. And yeah, it's kind of annoying. I'm about to open up the second set and take a look at how that looks, but yeah, for how much we paid for this set, and a lot of people definitely got 2 because they wanted this character on card. It's a little unfortunate, but all in all, it could be worse, so I'm not going to complain too much. But let's take a look at the second set and hope for a better one. And here we have my second Fat Bib Fortuna out of the packaging, and unfortunately this one is a little worse in my opinion. It doesn't have that little ding that the first one did have, but it has another extra bubble ring right here. So yeah, this one's definitely the worst. You can see some more scuffing here that just doesn't look fantastic. Also here, not that great. So yeah, this will definitely be the one I'm opening, and I'm glad I got 2 because, that's the thing is some of us want a nice carded sample. This is also such a interesting character to have on card. He's got the staff from the original Kenner release bib, so definitely one I wanted to have carded, so happy to have one, but yeah, I think they could have done a better job packaging these, putting tissue paper, just really making them nice and secure, but happy to have it regardless. And here we have the palace fully assembled based on the instructions that Hasbro gave us. And I gotta say that there is so much detail. It is fantastic. All these accessories and little bottles, the grill, this is just world building at its finest, and I'm very, very content with this set. The only thing I will say is that it could use a little bit more paint deco. So the archways have some pretty good detail and weathering on them. I think that looks great. The stairs maybe could have used a little bit more grime. It's kind of a very light tan color, and the palace itself is pretty dirty. I think the back wall looks fantastic, but yeah, something about those steps could have used a little bit more. I like the platform. I think that looks fantastic. It's got a nice color to it, a little bit of dirt worked up into those little spots and cracks. So yeah, something like that could have been a little nice, but overall, this is fantastic. I was gonna build a Jabba's palace for my dioramas and displays in the past, but yeah, Hasbro went ahead and gave us one, so that saves me the work of making something like this, which I know this is challenging for some people, so definitely a cool release. The grates at the top look really cool, and I'm very happy that you can allow some cool light effects to happen back there. I mean, just like that, it already looks fantastic. But yeah, lots of different bottles and plates and all sorts of stuff. Lots of good detail over here. Really match what we see in the palace. And once again, the grill. Very happy to have that. Such a cool accessory. And yeah, overall, very satisfied with this release. So one thing I did want to mention is that the previous Jabba the Hutt set from, I think, the Shadows of the Dark Side release, it does not actually fit in here. It's ever so slightly too wide, and it's probably a little too tall. Taking a look at the other one, so that is something to consider. I know we're getting a re-release of Jabba and the platform, which is fantastic, but in the meantime I'm going to be using the other one and have this Jabba the Hutt and Ula displayed with it. While here you can see the included dais and platform slide in effortlessly, so really nice stuff. And then of course we have Fat Bib out of the packaging. And one last thing I wanted to look at before we put this in my shelf display is the throne that was included. I've got to say that it looks pretty nice, but I have a 3D printed one that I got a long time ago, and I don't know, I kind of like mine more. I definitely like the cushion on mine. It's got, just a little bit more of a thicker look to it. It actually looks like a cushion versus This is maybe just a sheet that's been placed onto it. I also really tried hard originally when I got this to match it to like reference photos from the show. So I tried to get that pewter look on there. I think Hasbro did maybe a little bit better of a job, but you know, I'm not a machine, so I can't do paint applications the same. But I also do think the detailing on this 3D printed one on the back does look a little nicer versus it's not quite as deep of a print on there, or you know, the lettering. But the side does have some pretty decent weathering on there, I will say, in terms of the set. The back is hollow for like casting or whatever purposes, while mine is, you know, solid. But yeah, a little bit different. It's also ever so slightly bigger than my 3D printed one, which I always thought this fit very well with my characters. Like they can sit in it well, so I don't know. Just let me know what you think in the comments. Like, which throne room do you like better? I still kind of like mine a little bit more, so kind of up in the air what I'll display for my Boba Fett throne room shelf display. But with that being said, let's put this together, get in my shelf, and get all of my Jabba's characters together. And here we have the throne room fully assembled and set up in a Jabba's palace display. I gotta say that the throne room looks fantastic, especially with all these different characters populating it and really world building the Jabba's palace environment. Here you can see my original like little diorama that I had for the palace. It was pretty much just the carbonite display area that fit in a calyx cube 13 by 13, and I never got rid of it because I always knew I would like use it for this entire display. The thing about that one is that in the actual palace there's a lot more floor space here, and the line of sight goes straight back to the carbonite block. So basically that whole section should be closer this way. Clearly that does not work for this shelf because you would need a lot more space and just like floor area in general. So I kind of did my own little creative interpretation here. I made some new flooring. This is pretty much just a little piece of foam that I had lying around, and then I pretty much covered it in grout, mixed a little bit of acrylic paint in there to like better color match everything that's going on in here, and added a little bit of weathering. So yeah, we got some really nice texture in that, and it really brings everything together in my opinion. Also on the back, that is part of the IKEA calyx display, like the dividers. I just turned that one back that way so it can really support this level above it, but I wanted it to, you know, not be a white background, so pretty much cut a piece of styrene, spray painted it, weathered it, and now everything has kind of like a much more cohesive look. So that looks pretty good in my opinion. I might do the same thing for the sides over here. It's kind of up in the air right now what I want to do with that, but yeah. I also added a couple like puck lights up here to really, you know, get those nice effects from the grates, so that looks pretty cool. But yeah, all in all, I'm very happy with what's going on here. Here you can see Jabba on the platform that comes with the throne room. His like hookah thing is definitely pretty big, and it takes up a lot of space, so I'm curious to see how the new one will be like in terms of like size and comparison. But taking a closer look, we have so many different characters here. We have Ula, kind of a custom chain I gave her. That's just like something from the craft store, Michael's. Definitely better than the string that they gave her for that release. Can't wait to get a new EV99. That Power of the Force 2 one's doing, you know, he's doing something, but can't wait to get a better one. Hopefully he'll have articulation in the arms because 8D8 does not, so that's kind of a bummer, but we'll see when I get that figure. Then in the back there we have Hermie, who is like one of my favorite characters. Also one of the best figures that they ever made in the 30th anniversary collection. His soft goods are just so good. And then we have Jabba's interpreter from like the Clone Wars, that Build-A-Droid. Got a bunch of different Weequays and Niktos in the back. Got Reese, Boba doing his thing, kind of like guarding Jabba. Then we have Wolf over here having a conversation with Yarna. A lot of different Gamorreans. Here is the little monkey from this set. I didn't put it on there because I wanted to have like the big roast that usually you see in Return of the Jedi. So instead of just putting this guy back in the box, I might as well have someone carry him and offer him as dinner. I always like this little setup that I have going on. It just, that guy is so goofy looking, and that Gamorrean is just like, get away from me. Then we have Max Rebo. Was really kind of hoping for a Max Rebo band for this year for the 40th anniversary. I mean, this one's still great, but the band is just so like, it's so essential and just like such a classic group of characters. And then you got Size Noodle back there, more Gamorreans, the drum, bunch of different aliens, and then still got a little bit of like curb space here, so just propped up a couple other henchmen. And yeah, here you can see some of the other accessories that didn't really fit, because Jabba's pretty big, to be honest, and like I tried to put his old pillows on there and just like make do with what I had, but yeah, it kind of ran out of space, so I had to move a lot of the other accessories that I originally had on the platform somewhere else. You could see that basket of like apples or whatever those space things are, that big gold like vase or whatever. Definitely moved some stuff around, but that's the cool thing about accessories that are not like fixed in place. You can kind of populate your own world with them, so I thought those would look cool over here. You can also see in the back of there, I put some of those rugs up against that wall and put a couple other behind IG-88 over there. So I got all the bounty hunters in here except for Boss, because he's up in the town somewhere. But I always loved that book, Tales of the Bounty Hunters. They're just hanging out in Jabba's palace and stuff. So I figured Dengar, IG-88, Forlom, and Zuckuss are just, over there scheming on something. Then you have that Power of the Force Gamorrean back there. He actually doesn't look terrible, considering how buff he is and how buff some of those characters were. But yeah, you can see just a bunch of different aliens. Really happy to have them all together. There are a few things that are missing that I have finally picked up. They're on the way. I'll be sharing them in a video and finalizing kind of my Jabba's palace with those pickups. But yeah, definitely looking forward to the Denizens pack as well. Hopefully Hasbro Pulse will be shipping that here in the States soon. Put Velkin, a couple other skiff guards in here, but all in all, very happy with kind of how this works. So maybe giving you an idea of something you can do with your throne room and your previous like carbonite block display. All it really takes is a little bit of foam, build some stairs, this extra platform to make the second level, and then like a floor just to give everything a nice cohesive look. And then you got yourself a bit of a Jabba's world here. So hopefully that inspires you and gives you some ideas. But in the end, I'm very happy with this, and I hope you've enjoyed taking a look at what I got. And don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. It really helps and is always greatly appreciated. Thanks everyone, and may the Force be with you.